Hi everyone, this is Ben. I'm here with SuperCraft. This is a new tutorial showing you in real time how I approach design in SuperCraft. In today's topic, we are going to design a water kettle. As you can see, we are at the canvas for SuperCraft. Essentially, what you could do is if you have a specific design brief in mind, you can open it as a sticker note, or you can take a screenshot of the brief that you have and then drop it in as an image. So you can keep this as a reference for your design. So in default, you will be prompted to do two things. One is to start with a prompt, the other is to start with an image. So in this case, I would like to show you to start with a simple sketch. You can right click on the canvas. You can hit sketch. So you can click, and then in this case, let's think about the water kettle in a very simple shape. We can explore using the rectangle tool here. I just click, drag, and drop. And I could also use the line tool to get the mouth of the kettle. What I could also do next is I can use the line tool again and kind of describe the shape of the kettle. And then here's the handlebar. And at the bottom of the kettle, there is a hot plate, electric plate for it to boil. And there is a cap that stops the water from coming out. So once I drew this simple sketch, I can click Save. Now I have a very basic sketch. Then I can click here to add a note. In this case, I am going to use, let's try with a render note. And based on the brief, based on what I have in mind, I want to design I will write in a prompt describing what I just sketched. I would say stainless steel, minimal style, electric water kettle, high-end designer. And it's important to also mention how you want this image to be in terms of the background. So in this case, I would say white background, professional studio quality. And let's see what happens. I hit go. Great, this is the first image. It's very close to what we had in mind. However, there are some aspects of it that I don't like. What I could do here is, first of all, you can always render tons of image to compare. Maybe I'll do that first. So we click go again from this original node. Here's another one. Let's just hit go another two times. Great. So in this case, they all look pretty good to me. I think I wanted to try a different sketch in terms of the overall shape, and then we'll make a decision afterwards. So I right click and then I hit sketch again over here. In this case, I want to draw a different shape of the kettle. So I will go into the line tool and then I will create a shape that is smaller on top. So I'll do it like this. And here's the mouth to make it easier to pour. And regarding this handlebar, I will also start from the top, but in this case, I will use Doodle to draw a more curvy shape. You click and drag. And over here, we'll do the same thing. We can also use the rectangle tool to make it easier. Maybe a small cap here. I click Save. I have this image. It's a different shape. I will use the render node again. And instead of writing in my prompt, I will use the same thing here. Command C, Command V, go. This is the first image, and let's click it 3 more times. I do enjoy that SuperCraft is able to quickly visualize the very rough idea you had in your mind from words as well as a really simple sketch into something that is really quality. Let's explore a few more different rough shapes. Also, if you want to organize your board and if you want to move 4 things at the same time, you can hold shift. You can hold shift at an empty space and then left click, and then drag. And then you can move everything together. You can click out of it. So I will use another sketch here. In this case, let's explore a different shape. Let's explore a shape that is in the side view that's a little bit bigger on top and more narrow at the bottom. So I will use the line tool. I will do it like this. And I'll use a base that is wider. Let's see what the ellipse does. Maybe like this, like something round. I click save, and I will use the render node again, using the same prompt. Copy paste, connect image to image, and I click go. I realized that this time render did not fully uh, relate the sketch to the design. My intention for this row of design is that a kettle that is bigger on top and smaller at the bottom. So in this case, I would like to troubleshoot it by going into the words and change it up. I will describe my intention here better. I will add a phrase saying the kettle is bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. And I will start hitting go a few more times and see if it changed things. It didn't happen. Let me use shift to select all these images, just to keep it organized. Maybe there's a little too many elements here. I will redraw this sketch. And I just wanted to use this shape. Instead of being too specific, I click save. And I want to use the render node. And I connect image to image. Use the same prompt. Looking at all the outputs, the one that's closer to the form shape that I'm looking for is this one. However, it introduced a lot of other elements. So let's zoom out and look at what we have so far. We've explored a few different directions using a very similar prompt for the electric water kettle. What we could do next step is let's go into some of these and use SuperCraft to make edits to it. So for this first design, let's edit out this handle on top. I like the first design very much. This shape is really cool and it looks very doable. It looks like a real product. What we could do is we hit edit. And in this case, we can describe how we want to edit the image. Please remove the handlebar on top. And what else I would like to have? I think that's the only edit I wanted to go with this one. Edit is taking a while. See, it did remove what I wanted. Let me show you another example using edit. In this case, let's use this one. We designed the electric kettle, but it included a different shape, which is unwanted. We can use edit again and see if we can use words to edit out this extra tube. Please remove the water tube at the left of this water kettle and preserve everything else. Let's hit go. Great, it successfully removed this unwanted element. Let's use edit for another example here. I do like the idea of a circular handle, but I also want this shape to relate in a aesthetic sense closer to the body of the kettle. So in this case, because SuperCraft gave me all these options and I was inspired to provide one more, I will go here and right click and create a new sketch. And I want to use the ellipse. I want to use this as the body of the water kettle, and then I want to use a smaller ellipse as the handlebar, something like this. And I will do a rectangle here as the charging, and then this is the mouth that the water comes out. I hit save. This is the new design, and I will use render node again. Drop in the same prompt. And I need to connect the image, and then I'm able to hit go. Interesting. It was able to capture the shape on top, but when it comes to the bottom, it kind of relate to the more practical way of thinking. If I really want to stick it closer to my original design intention based on this sketch, what I could do is I could use InPaint. I would like to share with you a new tool called InPaint here. InPaint essentially is you can click and then you can add a mask, waiting for the image to load. First, I will use InPaint to get rid of certain aspects of it. So I will use the brush, and then I will select here, and then I'm going to hit remove. It will definitely do it. Taking a little while. Great, it's gone. Okay, so with my original idea in mind, I really want this the volume to shrink at the bottom without it tumbling over. So I would like to try a different, I can use InPaint to carve out that shape. So use brush, a smaller brush. What I could do is just go like this. The idea of InPaint is that anything you put, the shape, the mask that you have here is exactly what the AI will work on. Anything outside, SuperCraft is not going to change it for you because I really want this shape. Remove the volume of the kettle at the bottom. Maintain the oval shape of the kettle. And let's take a look if it works. It did not do that. What I could try again is, let's see, should we use evolve in paint? Remove background. You know what? I'm not going to give up yet. I will click go again. I will click go again. It's not doing what I want it to do. Let me change the wording. I'll just say remove the volume of the kettle at the bottom. And I hit go. I think in my writing I should change it to make the kettle thinner at the bottom, like the bottom of an egg. Let's give it another shot. I still really want the shape at the bottom to shrink. So I'm going to use the edit node in this case. Let's pick the sketch that is closest. We'll just use this image. If there's anything here that's close, no, these are not close. We'll just use edit, and in edit, we're going to say, make the kettle body into the shape of an egg. Make the kettle body let the kettle body to have a smaller diameter at the bottom. Try it again. Let me try to use in paint again. And in this case, I will select this, all of these, and I'm going to say, make the bottom of this kettle smaller as it touches the platform. Great, it's getting there. This is actually finally it's working. So what I would do is I will round it off even more. So InPaint is currently giving me a lot of hope. So I will use InPaint. And I will just remove this. Remove the line and extra piece to the right and maintain the egg shape of the kettle. You know, maybe because I added the word kettle, so it's gonna keep on coming out with like the regular kettle shape that people are accustomed to. So I'm not gonna write the word kettle. Maintain the egg shape at the bottom. Try it again. Great. Okay, so it's not that descriptive. Let me try to do this again and see if it will come out with a different image. It's still quite a similar image. I can use InPaint and then click Add. And in this case, I will select the bottom of this shape. And then I say remove the, I would say keep the bottom of this water kettle an oval egg shape. No, that doesn't work. However, this is an interesting design. Let me try to use InPaint in a different way. And I'll connect the image. I will use a smaller brush size. And then I hit remove. It did not do what I wanted to do. So this would be my key, one of my key directions. I'll hit a thumbs up. And I will use InPaint. I will just remove the specific areas. Remove. I could also try to see if I could use, let's use render, or here's a new tool that I would like to introduce you to. It's called the Evolve. What Evolve does is it takes the original input and then you describe how you want this to evolve, and then it's going to explore visual directions for you. In this case, I will use the same prompt to get started, and then I will edit the prompt differently for Evolve. Make the kettle body into the shape of an egg. Let the kettle body to have a smaller diameter at the bottom. This works. So in this case, default Evolve is set to 0.8. Let's make it 0.5. 0.5 is hardly giving me any changes, so I will boost it up to 0.6. I think I really want to emphasize the egg shape, so in Evolve, I'll say, make this water kettle the shape of an egg. Strength is 0.6. I barely notice any differences, so in this case, let me turn on the strength to 0.7. Okay, 0.7, things started to look a little different. I'll use the image here to compare. I can hit Evolve again. It kind of cut off the bottom of the egg, but I'll keep hitting Evolve. I do really like the bottom shape over here. However, this shape on top is kind of cut off, but I'm okay with it. Let me hit evolve another time. Great, this is a nice direction. Let me put strength into 0.75 even higher. It should give you it should give me something that is much more different from my original input. That is not working. I will try 0.8. I do like how egg looking this is. Let me put a thumbs up as a self reminder. I don't like the color material finish on this. So what we could do is let's use the best image that came out of Evolve. I like this, but the shape is a little bit different. I'm looking at the transition at the bottom. I really like this image. I'll thumbs up as well. And this is cool too. So the winner here is this one and also this one. Let me pull all the winner to this row. We have, I really like the handlebar here. So I'm just going to move this image all the way to here. And for the second row, I will use, I like it, well, I think I'll use this one. And for the third direction, these did not capture my intent. However, when I sketched something really simple and then described it that this is a water kettle, it was able to give me the correct volume, but I need to edit it a lot more. So what I would do is let me use this image, and quickly I will use InPaint, and then I will just brush off these. Let's say remove. InPaint again. I will use, what I could do is go back. I can just remove the top and then added a lid that is thinner. So I could do, remove the lid, replace with a smaller lid, and a beak to pour water on the left. I hit go. We'll use the edit tool. Make this a water kettle with a larger diameter on top and a smaller diameter at the bottom, similar to a reverse cone shape. Cool. I want it to be one. There's no, there shouldn't have a surface transition. So I would just use InPaint to remove it. remove the parting line. Great. So right now this is missing a lid. And so what I would do is I could click this, and then I could sketch, and then I can sketch on top of this image. So what I would do is I would use the rectangle tool and just drag, and then this smaller one is the lid where your finger can hold. Click save. And based on this sketch, I can use the render node, and then I will use the original prompt. Hit go. Great. It kind of just did what I wanted it to do. I don't like how thin the bottom is, but I guess it's okay. In Paint, add mask, and make this bottom plate thicker. That's what I'm going to say. Thicker. As we wait for this, let me refresh. And I hit go again. We'll come back to this one. Let's use this as another direction for the water kettle design. And for the oval shape design direction, I think this image speaks to me the most. These two. I kind of like the handlebar from this one more than the handlebar on this one, but I do like this cohesive shape. Let's see if we could merge some of these together. So we'll use this as a design direction. This one as well. So now, based on, I don't know how much time we've spent so far, but fairly briefly, we were able to come up with quite a few different options. I think we can give this up right now. Leave that here. So for this one, I will do a simple edit on this. Use In Paint. Remove. Based on my understanding, the top of the water kettle is usually hot when you boil, so it will make more sense for this top piece lid to be non-metallic. So I can use edit and describe, make the top lid non-metallic so it is not hot when touched. Let's see if it will actually give me what I want, something matte and maybe wood. It did not do that. Maybe edit is not the best way to change color, material, and finish. So I will use the render node to do a good job rendering this image. Keep the body of the water kettle white ceramic and make the bottom plate light gray and the handlebar to be textured grainy ridges. Let's see what it comes up with. And the lid on top needs to be a desaturated wood color. Let's see if it can give me something that is in the more correct. Okay, well, let's compare the notes. Body of the water kettle white, ceramic, it did that. Make the bottom plate light gray, it did that. And the handlebar to be textured in a grainy ridges. I guess it's considering this as the handlebar, but we don't need that. And the lid on top needs to be a desaturated wood color. It kind of did give me this wood color, but I feel like this wood is a little too old. It used to be like a light orange, super saturated orange wood. So this is fine. I will use, first of all, I will use in paint to get rid of this thing. Make the brush smaller. The more precise you do with in paint in terms of selecting the area, I believe it will help you to design easier with SuperCraft. I just hit remove. Great. And then I am going to, let's see if I can use in paint to change the color and the material. So I will just do, this whole thing is wood top. And this handle is here wood. The lid as well as the handle to be light yellow birch wood. I think that's the one. This is probably, in paint should not be used to create changes to the material because it will actually change the design. So now with a better understanding, we'll use render. So image to image. And I will copy this. So the problem of this render is it changed the other it changed the other parts of the kettle. This is not what we want. Perhaps in this case, I will need to remind SuperCraft that there are parts of the render I would like to keep the same. So I will keep this, I will copy this and bring it here. Keep the body of the simulation, make bottom plate right gray. Let's not talk about the handlebar. The lid on top needs to be a desaturated, no, the lid on top as well as the handle need to be light yellow birch wood and see if it works. In this case, you cannot see the whole thing at the same time. You can click this thing here to drag it down and then hit go. Cool, the color is closer to what we want. However, introduced some weirdness. What we could do is let's use in paint. And let's just remove it. Smaller brush. And this thing outside also can be removed. Remove the plate on the left side as well as the handle on top. I have good confidence that it will just do the work. Great, okay. I will not worry about this detail. Actually, I do. I would like to just clean up this detail just a little bit. Use a tiny brush. Just say remove. And I wanted to remove the graphics here. Continue to use InPaint. Maybe this dot here can indicate the color temperature. Replace with light indicating temperature of boiling in Fahrenheit. I can't spell Fahrenheit. In degrees. If it's not doing what I want it to do, I'll just remove it. Okay, this image, I don't know what happened here. Let's remove that. Okay, we'll just keep it as this. Very quality image. So as you can see here, these are the design directions, and then I used this image to create a design that is in the correct color and material and finish. Is more intentional this way. My next step is to you could use the same workflow of what I just did in the past 10 minutes to adjust the look and feel for all these designs. So in this case, I would like to show you another cool feature. It is you can select the design and then you can use edit. And I would like to put a background to this image. Or a better word is I would like to put this kettle within a real scenario. Display this kettle in a professional. Display this kettle in a kitchen. Minimalist kitchen with beautiful light, natural lighting. Hopefully it will give out something that is like beautiful. Oh, there we go. That looks great. Nice. And let's see, I want to put this kettle in a commercial kitchen. So let me use edit again. Actually, let me just use edit from the same image. Kettle in a commercial. This to me is beautiful natural lighting because it's like kind of cloudy and overcast looks great. The shadow is cool. Very egg looking, which I like. This one has more contrast, but it's not exactly a commercial kitchen. So we could display this kettle. Let's do it again. How about give it a challenge, like display this kettle as if somebody is pouring water into a mug. Show someone pouring water using this kettle into a teacup in a kitchen. It might be too much for it to do, too many different nuances, but let's see what it is. Let's go. Okay. Oops, it did not, it wasn't able to understand that the plate should be removed. So the easiest way to fix it is just use InPaint and then just remove the bottom. Remove the bottom plate. This is funny. In paint is taking some time. While we wait, we could use edit again. But while we saying in the edit, we can change, we can make sure that it doesn't take the plate with it. So let's try edit again. It's actually not letting me to do because this is running, so I will just refresh it. So here, click edit. Do that again. Using this prompt, using this kettle into a teacup in a kitchen. Do not bring the bottom plate. Do not bring the bottom plate. I think I'm just gonna say do not stick the bottom plate at the bottom of this kettle. All right. I really wish this could work, but it's taking some time. Let me select this, copy, and then I wanted to refresh it. Let's hit go. I hope that by going through this whole thing with you guys, it kind of shows you that the process of designing with SuperCraft on a physical product, in this case, a water kettle, it gives you it. You can start with a really simple idea, and then you can quickly make your decisions not based on a very rough form, but based on something really high quality, like almost like the end result. So within the short span of however long this video has been so far, we're able to come up with quite a few different unique designs. Personally, I think the egg-shaped kettle is my favorite. And towards the end, I also showed you how easy it is to how easy it is to how easy it is to put this image in scenario. I think after refreshing it, the scenario images went away. That could be a bug. Let me refresh. Okay, we're back. So I think we lost the part where I did the in scenario rendering. So in this case, we will redo that part. This is the design that we're going for, and I used the edit node to ask it to display me this kettle in a minimalist kitchen with a beautiful natural lighting. And I wanted to place an emphasis by saying do not move. I would say keep the bottom plate at the on the kitchen counter. Actually, this is not the right word. Like, let's just do this and hit go. Great, it was able to give me this one. And I will use edit again to show me a person pouring it out. Show me person, someone holding this kettle and pouring the water into a teacup. Do not move. I say keep the bottom plate on the table. On the kitchen counter. This is the wrong way of holding the kettle. So I will use edit. So the user's right hand is holding the handlebar and left hand taps on the top of the lid. Change the pose of the user to left hand holding, sorry, the right hand holding the handlebar and right and touching the lid while pouring at an angle of, let's say, 30 degrees. It did not do that. Let me just give you a few different options of in scenario. So I can hit go again. It gave me an image that is quite similar. So maybe I'm trying to do too much here. So let's change some environments. Let's put this in a professional. Um, let's put this on a kitchen counter with. Let's put this in like on an endless field of tea. So let me use edit node again from this image. Show me this in a background with lots of tea leaves. Something commercial. Okay. Okay. So maybe the tea leaves needs to be smaller. I'm just gonna write smaller tea leaves. Hit go. That looks a little better. It's a bit too symmetrical, but that's okay. Mm. So since you're exploring this whole thing with me, I will also like to share with you a few more tips. So this is the final design. We could, if you want this specific image, you could create a 4K higher resolution version for your presentation. And you can download this image. We're patiently waiting for this to load. Usually this will load faster, but currently I'm on a slow internet. So hopefully this will work better for you. I'm just going to close this out. All right. Well, I think I will conclude this part of the tutorial showing you the process of what it's like to uh, do vibe crafting with SuperCraft. This is the beginning of many tutorials to come, and some of the tutorials are like what we just have so far. It's live, so you get to see the process that I've developed with SuperCraft. Um, it is a process that can be continually improved. And if you have any advice, and if there's any specific product design um, category that you would like to see, we would love to explore. Um, we would love to explore that with you. And thank you so much. Looking forward to see you in the next tutorial. Thanks. Bye.